Hi guys, it's Claire. I'm back with some videos for you today on behalf of Craft Stash, and I'm going to be playing with these gorgeous dies and stamps that they've sent to me. They are made by Pretty Quick, and they're designed by, this set is designed by the lovely Kay Whitaker. These are absolutely gorgeous. I really like these. In each die set you get two dies. You get the outside border die and you also get the silhouette. I think this is the silhouette collection. So this is the silhouette with grandmother and child, and this is the one with mother and baby. There are, I believe there are 5 different die sets available and 3 stamp sets. Now the stamp set, this is the girl one, the old female family sentiments that I have, is absolutely brilliant. I really like this stamp set. I know they do a boy one or a male one. And then I think there's an extended family set as well, and they're really nice. I'm definitely going to be buying the other ones because it's so nice to have a stamp set that doesn't just have mother, it has mother, mummy, mum. The same as you haven't just got grandmother, you've got grandma, nana, nan. It's just so nice, and you've got sort of a nice swirly font in there, and you've got a bold as well, which is lovely to pair together. Really, I'm super impressed with these. But yeah, as I say, I'm going to make some videos for you today. I'm going to do 2 videos. The first video, which is going to follow straight on from this one, is where I'm going to be playing with this one here. I'm going to make the mother and baby card first, and then after that, the second video, video number 2, I'll do the grandmother one. So let's get cracking. Now all my papers I've pulled to go with this collection are actually coming from this Die Cuts with a View paper stack that I've got. I've had this for quite a long time. It's a lovely stack, but you could use any papers to make this card. This just happens to work well because it's all very feminine, so it goes well with these dies and just works brilliantly. But obviously any paper stack or any patterned papers that you've got, you could use. Okay, now the first thing that I've got for myself is just a blank card base. This is just a basic blank white card base. It is I think it's a 14.5 by 14.5 centimetre card base. Now on that I want to pop some layers. So from my Die Cuts with a View stack, I've pulled out a piece of this grey dot, which I've cut down to 14 by 14. I've pulled a piece of this bow paper, pink with grey bows, and which I've cut down again 5mm smaller, so it's 13.5 by 13.5, and then finally a floral one, and this one's got some gold elements in there, so that's my top layer. So I want to mat all 3 of those together. Now to give them a little bit more texture, what I want to do is distress the edges. So I'm using my distress tool. You can just use either your nail or the edge of a pair of scissors, but these little tools are pretty inexpensive and just handy to have. And you can't go wrong with this. Obviously just rough up your edges, make it look all old and distressed, and it doesn't matter if you crease it or you get little tears. The more texture the better, really. Okay, once you're happy with your level of distressing, just flat stick those together, just basic flat sticking, one on top of the other. Okay, I've got those all stuck together, and I'm actually going to rough up the edges just a little bit more, just so it doesn't look flat. I want to pick those corners up a bit, make them look a little bit messy. It actually, I never used to be a fan of doing this, but once you start doing it, it's actually really nice just to add different texture to the front of a card. Okay, the next piece I'm sticking on my card is actually this strip, which, because I'm working from a stack, this just happened to be in there already. It was obviously on a bigger sheet and I've cut this out. But if you haven't got a word in your pattern paper that you're using, just cut a banner. Do a little strip with a banner or a fishtail end at the bottom. And again, I'm going to distress and then pop this on here. Okay, now I don't want this completely flat stuck, so I'm going to raise it up. You could just use foam pads, but I personally like to use just strips of cardboard or old packaging that I've got. So I've got this strip here, just going to cut it down and pop that on the back. looks a bit messy and untidy from behind, but obviously once that's on the card, no one will ever know. And pop that just there. And again, pop up those edges, make it look a bit distressed. Okay, so now we've got the basic bit done. We can actually stick this onto our card base. So just flat stuck. If you wanted to, you could raise it to add even more dimension. But I'm happy with just flat sticking that on there. That's going on my card base, like so. And we're just going to pop that one to one side now because we're going to start die cutting. Okay, now these are the two dies that come in one of the sets. So you get the silhouette part, which is obviously the mother and the baby, and you get this gorgeous scalloped and pierced oval, which is really, really lovely. So I'm going to run these through my Big Shot machine just with some, I'm going to do this one in plain white and I'm going to do that one in a pink from my stack. Back from the cutting machine, here's what they cut like. Absolutely perfect. I only run these through one time. I use the Sizzix Big Shot machine and they both cut first time. I actually put both dies in together, one on pink, one on white, run it through and they cut brilliantly. I absolutely love this edge. That's so nice, that pierced edge. Now I'm going to stick this one carefully onto the centre of here. And I'm using some Stampin' Up, what do they call this? Just the fine tip glue pen. You can use any glue to adhere this, you're only sticking paper to paper, so it doesn't have to be anything too fancy. You just want to use something with a nice fine tip so you don't get yourself in too much of a mess. Let that dry for a few seconds. Now for my sentiment, I've gone ahead and cut two of these tag dies. This just happens to be a tag die that I've got. If you haven't got a tag die, just simply cut out one, cut out a rectangle and, you know, round off the corners so you get a tag shape, but most people have got a tag die somewhere. Okay, I need one just plain. The other one is where we're going to stamp the sentiment. I'm going to use my Hampton Arts Stamp Perfect just to make sure I get good alignment. And pop my little tag in the corner. And I'm going to use the little girl and also the word baby. So I'll start by stamping the word girl first. I want that in the bottom right corner of my tag, and I'm going to stamp that using Memento grey flannel ink. Now obviously this ink isn't the neatest for stamping because it's not designed for stamping, but you can get away with it, it's fine. On a card like this where we want it to look a little bit distressed anyway. Now moving on to the baby word, pop that on there. Around about there. Oops. Again using the same ink. There you go, and I'm pleased with that. As I say, it's not perfectly crisp because this ink isn't designed to do that, but on a card like this with distressing on it, I actually think that looks really, really nice. Okay, now as you know I cut two tags because I want one layered on top of the other, so I just bent that one there to give it a little bit of shape. I'm going to do the same with the other one, and I'm going to use a foam pad to pop these two together but offset so that you see the underneath one just poking through them from behind. Just a foam pad. Like so. Okay, now we're bringing the card back in. So this is our card base, this is our front silhouette part. I again want this raised to go on the front of the card, so I'm going to bring back in my bit of cardboard. And remember, this is just old packaging, it's absolutely free, and anything that I get this on cereal boxes or anything that arrives in the post, I salvage all that and it always comes in handy. Raise that up again, and I'm going to pop this on the front of the card. Now it doesn't matter that it's touching the V here, even if I wanted to overlap it a little bit more I could. It's quite clear what that says. I'll pop that about there. And my little tag I think I'm going to have down here. Okay, so I'll pop another foam pad on the back of there. And just pop that on. Okay, now what I was going to add a bow to here, but what I'd like to do as well is going back to my paper stack that I'm using. It comes with some patterned paper in there that was floral, so I've just cut some of the flowers from that paper, and I'd like these around my sentiments. I'm just going to cut that little cluster in half and slip them in like that, I think. So for that we can just use a foam pad on the back again, and then just slip that underneath so it's poking out behind. Like so. And I've cut out 2 other little flowers. Just gonna distress them a tiny bit. Same thing, foam pads on the back, and just slip those in as well. Now all these little details are just, you know, just from your floral patterned paper. It's not anything that costs any money, but it does make quite a difference. It really builds up the card. There you go, so I've got a nice little gathering of flowers there now around my tag. I'm going to add my bow. And then I'm calling that card finished. I think that looks really, really pretty. And as I say, you could use any pattern papers for this, but this die is just absolutely gorgeous, and the simplicity of that silhouette is just lovely. I really, really like this card. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed watching my make. As I say, I'm going to do another video now using the grandma one, so I hope you come and join me for that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.